All constitutions are contracts. Bad government servants do not want you to know that they are contracts. Why do they not want you to know that they are contracts? Because then you will understand that because they are contracts, hey, someone is duty bound to comply with that contract, right? Okay, all government servants are duty bound to comply with the law in the contracts, the constitutions. It isn't optional. They willingly, voluntarily wished and hoped to become our servants, and there you go. They are our servants, not leaders. Do not call them leaders. Do not give them power they do not deserve to have or can have, because no government servant, listen to the word, servant, is a leader. Servants are not leaders of the, if there's a servant, there is a what? There is a master. Okay, are servants leaders of the masters? No. Masters are leaders of the servants. Yes. Okay. All constitutions are contracts, and the people are created equal by God, and they have the right of equal protection under the laws. God created man in his image and created man with individual inherent rights that are inalienable, that may not be given away, written away, done away with. They cannot. It's part of the human structure, the way God created us. He built us and created us with love in his image. And we are all, according to God, we are have protections by him that cannot be broken, cannot be trespassed. And our founding fathers knew that, because this is a Christian nation that read the Bible. And when the people decided and agreed to create governments, they decided to do it with the blessings of God, with the looking up to God and pleasing him, relying on him, trusting in him, and doing it his way, knowing that the best way is God's way. So this is how they were written. And so other nations can be whatever in the world they want to be. That's their problem. Our nation, this nation, is Christian with Christian foundation, and the written documents, the instruments creating the nation, creating each state, creating each government, they're founded in Christianity. They're founded with Christian words. That their values are there. That is the way it is. You don't have to like it. People don't have to like it, but that's the reality of life. If other nations have whatever they want, they can worship whoever they want or not worship whoever they want. That's their business over there. Here, we're a Christian nation. Therefore, we have written in our constitutions things that benefit us, because God commanded us to love one another, to love him with all our being, and to love each other. So our constitutions, the contracts, they have things that protect us. They make sure that all those who wish and desire to become servants understand clearly what they are to do and what they are to not do. So when we look at every Bill of Right and every Declaration of Right, they belong to each of the people. You can go to all of them. You can go to this one, that one. You are not bound by only your state constitution, Bill of Rights, or Declaration of Rights. You can show the one. See, the thing is this, and remember this part, the one that benefits you the most is what they are bound to comply with. What benefits you the most is what they are bound to comply with, because they are hired to benefit us. And it benefits us to use the one that benefits us the most. That's very beneficial, isn't it? And they are now, you see, they're in the contract. They have to obey, but they have to comply by that. They have to benefit us the most. And so you can use whatever Bill of Right, Declaration of Right. We're going to look at this small topic of elections, and let's see what the constitutional provisions we're going to look at 2 state constitutions and see what they have about elections. Okay, so you can go to Ballotpedia and look for them here. This is Ballotpedia Alabama Constitution. in section 33. We're going to look at that one. We're going to look at Ballotpedia, Vermont Constitution, Article 8. Okay, so in Article, this is Article 1, Alabama Constitution, section 33. And it says the following. It says, the privilege of suffrage shall be protected by laws regulating elections and prohibiting under adequate penalties all undue influences from power, bribery, tumult, or other improper conduct. That's what it says. That's the law. By the way, constitutions, those are laws. They're provisions, they are terms of the contract, but they're also the highest laws. Okay? And any lower law that goes against it, goes against the constitutions, goes against the highest laws, they are void. They are null. They are exactly as though they never existed. Never existed. They never acquired the force of law. They never passed go. Why? Because these are the laws that they're bound by. So anything they see, the government's servants agreed to comply with the terms of these contracts. So how they cannot write some lower law that attacks these rights. They are under contract to comply. They don't have the freedom to choose which ones to obey and which ones to not obey. So, whatever they write, if that happens to go against these highest laws, then they're no good. They don't acquire the force of law. They are null. They are void. The void. Empty. Emptiness. Okay? So let's read that, and we're going to go a little bit, I like to highlight things. In schools, they taught you to annotate. They taught you to underline and put colors and things, whatever it takes to make it stick to your mind. Okay, we're going to do that with steroids. Okay, I do that with steroids. All right, I don't take steroids. I just get excited. So I underlined the bejeebies out of everything. A lot of things. So we're going to look at this one, and we're going to look at the article. This is Ballotpedia. This is Chapter 1, Vermont Constitution, Article 8. And it says the following. It says, text of Article 8, elections to be free and pure, rights of voters therein. It says this, and I quote, that all elections ought to be free and without corruption, and that all voters have a sufficient evident common interest with an attachment to the community, have a right to elect officers and be elected into office agreeably to the regulations made in this Constitution. Okay, that's what it says. That's what it says. So then I annotated. Be careful, beware of, I'm going to show you in my annotations. This is da-da-da-dan. These are my annotations, all right? So it is. I like it like this. All right. Because otherwise you might miss it. You might read it and go too fast and not know the words, but we're not going to go so slow and look at every single tiny little word right now, but we're going to focus on some of these, all right? Let's read this. Alabama State Constitution, Article 1, text of Section 33, protection of suffrage. And it says, I quote, the privilege of suffrage shall be protected by laws regulating elections. See? They shall be protected. That's the term in the contract. And prohibiting under adequate penalties all undue influences. How many? All of them. All undue influences. What? From power, from bribery, tumult, or other improper conduct. Other improper conduct. If it's improper, it is not permitted. It must be addressed by our government servants. They are under contract to comply. Now, that's a command. That is a command that they already agreed to perform, to obey, to comply with. Now, if we catch them not doing it, you can be merciful and send them a notice the way Dave Jose teaches us. Dave Jose put at Real Dave Cares for You, the number 4, the letter U. He is the one teaching us so that we can teach you. We are the voices bringing you the truth that will save you, your loved ones, and your nation. So do the same as we're doing and show others the truth written in our contracts that all government servants are duty bound to comply with, or else penalties. Okay, so here, they shall be protected. They were already commanded to do it. So now you send them a notice. Hey, you're not protecting our right, our privilege of suffrage. You're not protecting it. You have to protect it from power of bribery and tumult and other improper conducts. So that's merciful that you're giving them a notice. It's merciful because otherwise they could say, well, I didn't know. So I was messing up because I didn't know. Well, now you know. You know the thing you were supposed to read before you signed and said, I do, I will, I shall, right? All right? Before they signed on the dotted line, before they took the seat of office, they were supposed to read these things. Okay, all right, let's just pretend that something went wrong, they goofed and didn't read it, but now go read it. Now, if they still decide not to listen, now they're showing you by their conduct that it's on purpose, They're doing it willfully, with full intent, full understanding, full knowledge. They want to do this. They want to attack the constitutions. They want to go against them. They want to be contrary to them. They want to attack the people that are protected, that must be protected. And the whole purpose of government is to protect the people and all of their individual inherent rights. And if they are going against this one term, this is part of what is supposed to be protected. They're doing it on purpose. And now the penalties are going to apply big time. So the next constitution we're going to look at, that we looked in the Ballotpedia, this is Vermont State Constitution, Chapter 1, text of Article 8, elections to be free and pure. You hear that? Pure. Rights of voters therein. Okay, now, and I quote, that all elections ought to be free. How many? All of them ought to be free. Okay, and without corruption. What? No corruption? What about a little bit of corruption? Nope, not a little bit either. One little teeny tiny bit? Just a little tiny, please. Nope, without corruption. Without corruption. Think of corruption as poison. We don't want any poison. Zero corruption, zero poison. Okay? So that all elections ought to be free and without corruption. And that all voters having a sufficient evident common interest with and attachment to the community have a right to elect officers and be elected into office agreeably to the regulations made in this Constitution. All right, this is a command. This is telling them what they better do. They better make sure that all elections are free and they're without corruption, which means that only the people of this nation are allowed to vote. No illegals. Could you imagine if we allow China, CCP China, to just come and vote in our elections, or Russia or any other nation that hates the people of this nation, and they just walk over here and start voting in our elections and just taking over without even a war, just without even shooting a cannon? They just walk over here and take over our nation with by use of elections? No, sirree, can't do it. Look it up. This is serious, all right? This is serious. It's right here. You see it. You see it right here. This Ballotpedia, you can see it. I'm not making it up. There it is. There's the other one. And I'm just annotating here so that you won't skip over these words, and they won't skip over these words, because look at the arrows. Without corruption. Hello, without corruption. They have to do it. So it's important that we look at all these parts and hold them to the contract. The penalties will apply big time if they refuse to listen to the people, refuse to comply with the terms of the contract. They're already in the position of being our servants. They're our servants. They're to serve. They're to serve us. To serve, or else if they don't want it, if they don't like it, they need to resign. They need to turn in the keys. You say, okay, I quit. I'm going home. Okay, go home, quit. But you can't stay there and think that you're going to do whatever you want, government servant, because we are the masters. Servants have masters. They are our servants. They knew that the word was servant was in the contracts, and they said they wanted to work anyway, right? They wanted to work anyways. They began to work. They're our servants. Don't let them get away with this nonsense talk that they are our leaders. Don't let them get away with that. That's going to teach our future generations to think of them as leaders. And that is a sneaky little crowbar at the door, crowbar at the window, breaking in to what they shouldn't break into. Do not allow it. Hold them to all the words in the contracts. Don't let anyone be sneaky. So here we go. What should we know? There's much to know. Dave cares for you. Dave Jose, he's the one that's teaching us. Please learn from him. We are simply voices repeating what he has taught us, showing you the truth. And I wouldn't do this if I didn't see the evidence and if I didn't find it to be true. I wouldn't do it. But I found the evidence. He showed us the evidence. It is legitimate. It is truth. This is what was hidden from the people. Much was hidden from the people. He is exposing it all. He is showing the people their true powers, the rest of their powers that were hidden. So the people have the right and lawful authority to look into all parts of elections to make sure that all parts are legal and lawful, that nothing was outside proper form. Because there's proper form, there's also improper form. So it must be with proper form. If it fails that, it fails all, right? Anything missing makes the whole thing no good. Okay, that all votes counted are legal votes. They're legal votes counted. Not from illegal aliens. We have to make sure that illegal aliens do not vote in our elections, because that is not what we allow them to do in the contract. So if they do it, they are going against the contract. They are going against the people. They are going against the nation. They are at war with this nation. This is serious. This is not their choice to breach. They are not allowed to do whatever their will is. It is our will only. So government servants cannot refuse the masters. The people are the masters. Any one of the people can demand an audit of our elections to make sure there was no corruption. So we can do it after the fact, and we can even do it before the fact. We can demand they prevent corruption. Prevent corruption. Not allow it to ever happen. They are not to let it happen now. They were commanded already. You saw the terms in the contract, but now we can demand it again out of mercy only, because they're already duty bound. We're doing this just in case there's a really absent-minded someone out there that just really wasn't paying attention. So we're reminding, hey buddy, government servant, do you remember reading that contract? If you haven't, better go look at it now, because we're going to hold you accountable for breach of contract if you don't know what you're doing, if you're doing the wrong thing. So go ahead and prevent corruption in our elections, because if you don't, we're going to hold you accountable. You're liable personally, because you're taking up the room. You're sitting in a seat of office that's made for law-abiding workers, and you're sitting there neglecting your job, not doing your job, and you are going to be receiving penalties. I'm telling you this before it happens. So Now, if they want to do it, they still insist on doing it. They're doing it willfully. They're doing it with full understanding, full knowledge. They are doing it on purpose to attack the people, to attack the constitutions, to attack this nation. They're doing it. They're showing it. There's no doubt about it. So please understand, do the right thing. Now, remember again, at Real Dave Cares for You, he is showing the people of this nation how. He's showing everything. He's showing us all what we need to know. Now here, remember Black's law dictionaries were written by attorneys. In the first one written by attorneys, the next one's attorneys. They look it over. They use it to teach their law students. They use it in courts. The judges know this. They're familiar with Black's Law. They can't deny they don't know about Black's Law. This is what they use to teach the students. And let's see what the book, Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition, what it says about master and servant. Okay, let's see what they wrote, because we could also look at other dictionaries and see. But let's look what they wrote for their students to understand about master and servant. It says, the relation of master and servant exists where one person, for pay or other valuable consideration, enters into the service of another and devotes to him his personal labor for an agreed period. You see, service, they are servants. They are servants, and they do it for an agreed period because, for example, the president serves for a particular amount of time. The senators for a specific amount of time. House of Representatives, specific amount of time. Judges, specific amount of time. And even though it says in some jobs, they're there for life. Yeah, that's specific and it ends, doesn't it? So it's a duration of time. It's declared. So master and servant, the relation of master and servant exists where one person, for pay or other valuable consideration, enters into the service of another and devotes to him his personal labor for an agreed period. The relation exists where the employer has the right to select the employee, the power to remove and discharge him, and the right to direct both what work shall be done and the manner in which it shall be done. So, now you know that we the people are masters, and see, the people are masters, and I'll show you right here. See, the people, master. Government, servant. For service, for a duration of time, for pay. And an employer has a right to hire whoever they want to and put the rules, put the law in the contract that they are to obey. If they don't want to, they don't have to have that job. Don't be a government servant. Don't do it. All right. So I just want you to remember, please look up Dave Jose at Real Dave Cares for You. God bless us. God protect us. God save this nation. This nation belongs to God.